Welcome back. It's time for video 3 from Unit 10. So we're going to run out and open some PowerPoint slides to click us through. And you'll notice that we're looking at content from section 18.2. Going to talk about an amortization schedule, the notion of taking your monthly payments and how it's attacked in terms of interest that you owe and affecting the balance that you still owe. What's generally true when you first start making your mortgage payments, the bulk of the payment is to defray interest costs, and you're going to find that a smaller amount of that, in some cases, it seems like an almost inconsequential amount of that, goes to diminish what you owe to actually lower the principal balance. And so what we're going to look at is a means for you and I to create the notion of an amortization schedule. It's not hard to do. Excel makes it very easy to do. And again, you may find that as one of the things that you'll be asked to do for an activity from this unit. We're going to do a little bit together and try to create the notion of an amortization schedule as it relates to an example problem for us. Okay, you kind of already heard this on the intro to the thing. Early on in your mortgage payment history, the bulk of every monthly payment goes to defray interest, and a smaller and sadly significantly smaller amount goes to defray or to pay back the balance that you borrowed. As the mortgage runs, year after year after year, toward the end of the mortgage, the bulk of the payments are not for interest because the amount that you owe is considerably lessened over the first, say, 20 years of your mortgage payment. So a greater amount of those payments goes to defray or to reduce your balance owed. And you'll see that to a certain extent with the example that we're going to consider as we create the beginnings of an amortization schedule together in this video. All right. So here's basically the attack if we're going to do this by hand, and we're going to, for purposes for us to appreciate what we got going on. First thing you must do is calculate the interest for that month using whatever the outstanding balance is. Obviously, when you first take the loan, you'll know how much you borrowed. All right, and that will calculate the amount of that first monthly payment. And remember, you and I know how to calculate payments for mortgages. We've done that previously in this unit. So it's a skill we already own. So we're not intimidated by that. But then we'll find out how much of that payment goes to pay interest. The balance of that payment goes to reduce principal. And then you'll calculate a new principal by taking off what you were able to contribute to the principal on that first payment and defraying it away from what the amount you borrowed was. And then you start the same process all over again for month number 2. And interest is found by taking that new principal, finding it, multiplying by the rate times the time. And we go on and we go on and we go on until the loan is gone. All right, so here's our example. We're going to do some stuff for Fred. Now, we met Fred previously. If you remember, Fred's the dude who's buying the lovely home in Exton. Sale price at $340,000, 20 down, 20% down. Mortgage from Best Bank, 30 years at 7.5. Calculate Fred's monthly payment. We've already done that, so we're just going to bring that number back. All right, so Fred's monthly payment. And remember, this is just his mortgage. This has nothing to do with his property taxes or his insurance for his property. That's his mortgage payment to the bank, to Best Bank. And we're going to construct a 3-month amortization schedule for Fred's loan. All right. So on top of this slide, I reminded you of some things. I reminded you how much he borrowed. So his current balance owed, as he's read there, remember, this is his first monthly payment. So he has to owe $272,000. He's going to send them a check for $1,901.86. The interest rate per month, remember, we took that 7.5, cut it by 12 to get 0.00625. First thing that happens, Fred sends his payment. All right, well, his payment is $1,901.86. And Best Bank says, let's talk about interest, baby. So we're going to take the 272, which is his outstanding balance, times 0.00625, and they're going to realize that $1,700 of that first payment is interest charge. So the reduction in what Fred owes isn't very substantial. It's going to be a couple of $100. So you wind up taking the 1901.86, subtracting off the 1,700 that's going against the interest, and that leaves a reduction in principal of $201.86. So at the end of that first month, after that first payment's been made, he will no longer owe $272,000. He will have paid back $201.86 of it. So his new balance is $271,798.14. It's calculator gymnastics. You're punching buttons. It's a lovely subtraction problem. To start month number 2, that is his outstanding balance. You guessed it. Along comes his second monthly payment of $1,901.86. They said, let's find out how much interest you owe. Notice now that we're basing it on his outstanding balance of $271,798.14 at 0.00625. That's a lot, baby. That's a lot. So $1,698.74 of his second payment is an interest charge. That leaves the difference from 1901.86 to 1698.74 to be the amount that reduces his obligation to the bank. So his principal is diminished by $203.12. So his new principal is going to be the $271,798.14 diminished by $203.12. So now he owes $271,595.02. Here's a sad but humbling statement. He sent these cats almost $4,000, and he has diminished the amount he owes by approximately $200. I'm sorry, approximately $400. So it's like, dang. Okay, third and final for us, we're going to wind up with a new balance of $271,595.02 as a result of what happened after month number 2. You know they're going to take their interest chunk first. So they're going to take that same number times 0.00625. So of that third monthly payment of $1,901.86, $1,697.47 straight off the top for interest. The balance of that third payment is going to be the reduction in how much he owes on his mortgage. So it's $204.39, and it's just a quick subtract. So the last number we'll look at together on this amortization schedule would be his new balance at the end of month number 3. And God bless him, he still owes $271,390. So one thing you can see just on the beginnings of an amortization schedule is as we moved through the schedule, the amount that is being contributed for interest charge is diminishing month by month. The amount that's being contributed to reduce the principal is actually increasing month by month. Sadly, early on in your mortgage paying experience, as you see here, a great amount of that monthly payment goes to defray interest charge, and your reduction in what you owe, sadly, is pretty small. Okay, so I wanted to get us a chance to do it, and I may ask you to do it, and the promise from yours truly is they wouldn't do more than 3 months like we just saw there. A little table thing helps a lot, so feel free to set something like that up. You know you're going to probably get a chance to explore Excel before the unit crashes. That, my friends, ends Unit 10. So there are some problems for you to practice and send me some solutions. I can throw some points into the grade book for you. As previously mentioned, if any of those are causing you stress, anxiety, or possible hair loss, I'm an email away. Send me some information and we'll try to get a chance to get together. Even if we have to get together by some kind of a remote meeting operation, we can certainly do that. We'll be back soon for Unit 11. See you then.